Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Beans World 77 episode. we do these episodes every once in a while, and we should know the score by now, but we just never do. It just never happens that way. It always comes to the point where we screw things up, like we do. Yeah. So there is an episode that I did a couple of weeks ago, which will be coming out next week, and this episode's coming out this week because it is. And I'll have put on a on the community tab and everything about the new picture, which is definitely here to stay. It's got the cyberpunk look. Cyberpunk, yeah, we love cyberpunk. Imagery and all the rest of it, because that's what we do here on the Earth. So yeah, it just is what it is. It is what it is. So yeah. Do you know, I've seen a message on your thing that says, why aren't you going to have an OnlyFans? I ain't answering that question. Yeah. It's strange though, because it's like, I don't know, it's like, you know, it is. It is what it is. Plus, it just is what it is. It is what it is. So, Andy, you have got a brand new computer. Oh, we were talking about this before the podcast, because Andy's got a brand new computer. And it's spanking brand new. Well, it's not spanking brand new. It's an iCore 7. But my friend Phil and my mate Rory, they both worked on the casing. Because there's no way I could have we're keeping you up. There's no way I could have put that whole machine together. Like, I've worked on machines in the past, and it's even got it's got so much inside it. It's got a Samsung SSD. It's got an Intel dual core RAM. It's the RAM is ridiculous on it. I've got to say, and it's just to say though, your machines, because we've got on the Imaginary Friends Facebook page, but also on the YouTube, we got you to do your spec for the community tab, and you'll see it after this podcast. All of the computers, all of the archive that I've owned. Well, it was for the other channel, but we thought we'll show it for this channel. Because, yeah, you had I remember when you had that Ploster, the hacker block. Yep. Which was a power. Well, no, the Power PC came after. Mm. It was it was an old Dell. I'm surprised you remember. Tower. Um, and had everything going for it. So that, do you know, I had an Ubuntu machine, and all the really cool stuff. I was reading them all the spec for it. It had two CD burners. One was a Sony. It had all the other bits and pieces. But anyway. Mm. But remember that PC you built, and it had the I had a gaming rig. I had um, it was actually a first-person shooter rig. Mm. But then that just came my ultimate gaming rig, and then I got rid of that, and then I had my refurbished PC, which I sold to buy another refurbished PC. Mm. And then I had a custom built PC, which I've still got. I've got two custom built PCs, a refurb PC, and then this monstrosity, which I've had built, and I designed it, and I designed all the casing, and I bought all the parts, and it's got everything. It's got USB-A, USB-C, HDMI. It's full spec, as they call it. And yeah. And this is your VR rig, isn't it? No, my VR rig's the next thing that I'm building. My VR rig is basically an old freaking hell, it's an old PS4 Pro. Sorry, no, it's an old Xbox. Because Xboxes seem to take the power, even though they're PCs. Yeah, but they take the power of VR. They're like other VR rig, which you don't need much. And then I've got like a laptop which will power it. I've got an iCore 7 laptop which will power it. But and then I've got some shitty VR goggles I had with something prior. So yeah. So talk about your gaming setup. What's different with this machine? This machine is just for video gaming. It's not for surfing the net, or it's not for surfing the net or anything else. It's just for video gaming. That's its whole purpose. You know, because if you start doing other things on it, it clogs the machine up. But you can do video editing on it. And I could do, but I don't, because I've got another machine for that. So yeah. So stick all your emulators on, and oh no, they're all on the laptop. They're all on the laptop. I thought you needed ridiculous Graphics. It all depends. It all depends. You know, if I'm running, even for PlayStation emulators, because I've got a PlayStation emulator that runs PS1, PS2, PS3, PS4. I've got an Xbox emulator which I've had forever, which is bloody good. I've got all kinds of things that I'm running. But no, this is for like real hardcore gaming, this machine. This is for running things I've never been able to run before. Like never. Like games that are just ridiculously big. Well, games that run not ridiculously big, but just run need like ridiculous power graphics. Like House of the Dead 2. No, I can run that on my laptop. I've got like a mini gaming rig or a mobile gaming rig, as they know, and that's my Acer 4 laptop. Sorry, no, it's not. It's an old Sony Vaio that I kind of just added a little bit of extra RAM. Yeah, and I've got an Android tablet which I have stuff on. I did get some other bits and pieces to add to that, but yeah. But yeah, and it's also I've got like, with my video game setup, I have like messing about kind of things. So when I want to do a bit of coding and run some crap on the fly, that runs on my other machine. That runs on my custom built machine instead of my refurb machine. So it's all there. And where is this all set up? Because in the old salon, because we've moved the salon over, we kind of, that's, I'm in the extension and she's gone into the conservatory, because she doesn't really do much with the salon now, and when she does, it's kind of, so yeah, I'm in what was the salon. But I've got a nice video game setup. I've got a nice big desk, and it goes all the way around, and yeah. Yeah, and I've got three servers, which I'm working on. Four servers. Because one's, they're all media servers. One's a Plex, the other's a, oh freaking hell, what's the other one? Yeah, one's a Plex. And the other's like a NAS drive, and then the other's a, yeah, but they all run an app called Quantum, so I can literally just run stuff from my house if I want. you know, I can basically, if I want to play any video games on my phone, or you can do that anywhere. I know, but if I want to play video games that I have got, or listen to music that I've got, or watch films that I've got anywhere, then I've got this machine, and I've also got a VPN that runs it all, so it's super super secure. So I can watch Netflix on any machine. I mean, even on the brand new machine, if I want to watch Netflix, um, or if I want to watch, I don't know, anything, I'll just log into my server, and that'll be just like, or I can just log into another machine that's in the house, and I'm literally instead of sat on my video game machine, which is taking all the memory, there's another machine that's taken all the memory in the house. Because we've got a multimedia PC, which is just, well, it's our everyday PC, and I've got all my music sat on external hard drives. Thousands of MP3s. And then I've got thousands of video games. I've got millions of video games. I've got old videos of when I was like messing around with my mates and stuff. When we sort of like messed around filming and all that kind of thing. But I've got some stuff which is on the refurb PC, because that's like ridiculous amount of memory. But I've noticed that you've now realised, oh, we've got all this kind of stuff. And well, I was doing a sort out. I was in the lockup the other week, my storage unit the other week. I got rid of a load of crappy laptops I didn't need, but I had to back them all up. So what I did was brought them all home, plugged them all in, and just backed up everyone. And there was like, I had loads of stuff that I never realised I had. Old external hard drives. There's just a load of crap that me and my friends did. There's a video game that Adam Winters was building, me and Adam Winters was working on. There's just loads of great cool stuff. There's like jelly babies. It was like a mini Candy Crush horror ripoff. Like Plants vs Zombies, that kind of, yeah. I liked Plants vs Zombies. I thought it was pretty. Yeah, it was a cool game for its time. Really, really cool. But yeah. So how many computers do you actually have at your game setup? Well, I've got the two desktops. Are basically, I've got one desktop upstairs, which is that's in the spare bedroom. That's the multimedia PC. And then downstairs, I've got the two desktops. I've also got an Xbox wired up as well, which is just streaming everything. I've got a V Pluster X, which is also streaming everything, which is pretty good machine, isn't it? It was, yeah, and um, it flopped, but there is still a lot of support for it. A lot of support for it. And it's sad because everyone's running Android, even VTech and Ploster. And, yep. Well, Ploster ran themselves into the ground. Yep. Um, because they ran, like nowadays, they run Linux distributions. Sorry, they don't run Linux distros. They run, they have their own distros, which are now open source, like Linux. So they go, you can go, for example, like Square, not Square, Shuttle, which is my favourite system, um, and Circle, and I liked Galactic 2.0, but then when it got past that, it was just shit. Galactic needed to run on an operating system, didn't it? Galactic was a basically it was an add-on to Shuttle originally, and the whole idea of Galactic was that you basically didn't need to do all this crazy way of installing. You didn't need to. You could just install your apps, and then another thing was you could just open them. There was no, you didn't have to type crap in, or you didn't have to, because basically they were using Unix executable, all that sort of stuff, and then they sort of were using GUI interfaces which weren't very friendly. It was all the stuff was for developers. They always aimed at developers. But when Galactic came out, they threw all the developers into the water and just said, no, it's got to be a consumer built. So then they made Pentiax, which is a Pentium operating system, Pentiax 2000, and then there was Windows 2000, and then there's a Windows CE package for Ploster, because I had Ploster Fusion with Windows CE bundle, and it worked fine. Yeah. Straight out the box. In fact, when I built my hacker block, I put Shuttle on, and then I put the Windows. I put the Pentiax GUI on with a, and then on top of that I had like a Windows 7 skin. So it looks, it really looked like Windows 7, the whole thing. Yeah, my buns. I liked Windows 7. The look of it looked really cool. You know, even though I fell out with it before it died, which is sad. Yeah, Windows 7 was a pretty neat system. You know, unlike Windows 11. Yeah. So that's the question. What do you run all your video games on? Windows 11. It has to be Windows for video games. It can't be anything else. Mm. I know that people run Linux distros, um, which is good if you're running um, like PlayStation uh, stuff. Mm. Which Linux stopped its support for PlayStation. Yeah, it did. Mm. But a friend of mine, he built a very crude PC out of two PlayStations. Really? Yep. It was two PlayStation 2s. In fact, Geo Warehouse, they had a PS2 running the cash register. No, they had... No. They had PS2 controllers controlling their CCTV system. Yeah, nothing big. All right. Nothing big. Mm. I mean, there were robots that you could run with PS2 controllers. Well, a PS2 controller will run anything because it's just really nice, and people were building that sort of thing. Mm. I prefer the second gen Xbox controller because they're really nice and smooth. Yeah. Mm. Yeah, there's lots of nice things about Xbox controllers. Mm. We always have to add all that kind of thing. But I've actually just uh, worked on a. Well, I'm working on an iMac because that's going to be my next project. Mm. Because that'll be my machine that I run all my coding on. I've got a MacBook Pro that I do a lot of coding on, but this will be like the coding, like where I can run my code and stuff. Yeah. Mm. And have you still got your Plosterbook Pro laptop? And yeah, I've still got all those. Mm. Yeah. So anyway, um, before we carry on with the computer talk, I wanted to talk about YouTube. Oh man, we just love discussing YouTube on this podcast. Well, since the podcast is on YouTube, yes. And a lot of people seem to what they love about this podcast is, yeah, um, but I was gonna do another episode on relationships, which was part 3. There is a part 2 somewhere, but it hasn't gone out yet for some strange reason. But I was going to do a part 3 about relationships and about how people seem to think like, you like in part 1, and I was talking about meeting a girl, um, and obviously everyone seems to think that when you meet a girl, it's all from the get-go kind of thing. And like I say, I'm not great on relationship advice. I'm all very good at fucking them up. Oh, crumbs, you had to say that, didn't you? Well, yeah. But the thing is, you know, the girls I've picked, it's never been the way at all. But it's like, it's difficult because nowadays it's like, do you really want to be, do you want to be owned by someone, or do you want to be connected to someone? Wow. This is deep shit, people. You know, like, here's the thing. When you're owned by someone, right, and I'm deadly fucking serious, that person literally tells you what to do. You feel like you can't see when you're owned by someone, you can't fuck up. It's just a general thing. But it's like, if you're connected to somebody, you're never going to lose that. Because they love you, and yes, fucking things up matters. Don't think it doesn't. That's an open relationship, isn't it? Well, no, see, the thing is, I couldn't have one of them because, yes, it would be great to be with someone and then go, oh yeah, because right, yes, you can turn around and stick your dick in someone else and then go back to them, but that's not. There are moral lines. I think there are still that kind of thing that it's about. What do you? Because the thing is, you've got to have, like, I've read, strangely enough, that with open relationships, the scary thing that I've read is the people allow you to do whatever, but that, I don't know. It's all about a special thing, isn't it? But that's not an open relationship. That's not an open, because the thing is, here's the thing. People think, right, okay, an open relationship is where you basically you go into a bed with someone else, and then you whatever. But when you come back to them, you give them that something that you would never give anyone else. I think with an open relationship, you've just got to have. You've got to be loosey goosey. And see, the thing is, that is something, is as good as it sounds, is still something that I hold on to. Because I'm not. I always thought, oh yeah, I'm this open, but to be honest, I'm not, because when you're with somebody, there's that kind of, I don't know, jealousy. But that's about owning. See, when you're in a relationship, when you're in a bloody hell. Ladies and gentlemen, have the buckets handy. We'll go back to computers in a minute. Yeah. But when you have, I'm going to say this very quickly, right? When you're in a boyfriend-girlfriend relationship, right? Nobody can fuck up. Now, I can't give any relationship advice, by the way, judging by your relationships, yeah, Sharon, oh bloody hell. See, I'm not joking, right? And I'm gonna say, like, sex is a thing. Nobody communicates properly, and as an autistic, there's some things I run towards, and some things I run away from. And Sharon, he runs away from. Well, I should have ran away, but there's always been like the thing is right. Like bloody hell. Basically, when you are at the point of no return, crumbs. And it's like the problem is you're at the point of no return. They've not got to the point of no return, and it's like I don't know. But yeah, and that's the thing. There's no communication properly. Not what I've experienced anyway. Oh dear. Um, I don't know, but I don't know. I think the thing as well um, is a sexual relationship has to be. That's something else. That's a whole. Whatchamacallit? That's a whole other dimension entirely. Because, and this is coming from my perspective. This is why Andy's not. This is why Andy's kept quiet. He's letting me do all the talking here. But it's a whole other dimension and something that I don't fully understand. However, and it's not something I want to personally. Hopefully one day, who knows? But what I'm saying is, it needs to be fully understood. There needs to be a two-way communication, and it's yeah. What you both want, and all the rest of it. But when you have a sexual relationship, and this might sound disgusting, but you need to really understand each other's bodies, even the things you don't want to understand, if you're with me. But it's like, for example, when someone farts and you're thinking, yeah, it's natural, it should be held in, right? But hey, if you're gonna be, if you're gonna be, because things happen, they're not like the movies, you know. You never see. When you see a sex scene in them, I'm not talking about the hardcore stuff, by the way. I'm talking about just a bog standard film. But even in that, even in the real stuff, it's all edited out. Because, who wants to watch a film or not, when having a nice romantic scene, and all of a sudden, someone farts. But in the real live moment, it happens. So you have to understand each other's body, and you just have to laugh it off. You know, um, make a joke out of it because it's just it's a thing that happens, and you know. But I think communication is key. Um, you know, through the whole thing. Yeah. Um, Communication is key. Bloody hell. Andy's shocked. Well, I never thought we'd be going there, but oh, we've gone there, so hey ho. It's done. It's said. It's difficult that, you know, um, it's, you know, um, you know. And I ask you something, Steve? Are you like done with the whole flirting thing now? And well, what's the point? Um, you know, I used to. I'll tell you this for nothing. I used to when I was drunk. Um, there used to be a couple of people who I'd be like, "Oh yeah, when I'm drunk, I'll text that person." Oh my goodness grief! Um, and you know, but I think, and it got to the point then when we were both drinking. You know, I'd come home from the pub, and she would have just had a glass or whatever, and I'd be like, "Oh yeah, you know, whatever." But it's just like, there's no point. There is no point. Um, Plus, when you get ditched, heartbreak is difficult. Mm. It is difficult. Um, but it's an episode I need to do at some point. Mm. Anyway, um, we spoke about wine, women, and song. Let's move on to YouTube. Um, and a lot of people want stuff. Um, Trains, they want. People want trains. Mm. Uh, and I did a train video and it's not gone down like a storm, so yeah. Mm. Now you can see why I don't do train videos. um, Plus, the train, we travel the train. It's very boring. um, you know, there's no. It's like to get a really good steam train or to get a really good train, you've got to travel to get one. I understand there are train buffs out there, but it's getting them videos. Oh, excuse me. I'll do one sort of like one more train related video or a couple more. Um, I've got the Southport Station walk round video to do, which will be more of a really good video. Um, because I can show off stuff there a little bit, I guess. Um, but yeah, and there'll be sort of like train related videos done. Um, Car videos. Um, I've done most of the car videos I've done. Um, the problem is though, when you do a car walk round, there isn't really much to a lot of them. I mean, we did the pink BMW video. Um, didn't one of the subscribers come to you or something? Or no, no. I've had comments on recently on the Instagram, but I don't know anything more about it. I just know that it's going. But when I did that video, there really wasn't much. It was a small car, and it was a quick video because it was just one. I was glad to do it really, and I wasn't doing it for me. The person I did it for was glad I did it, and it was like there's loads of people on the Instagram that were really loving that. It was more of an Instagram one than it was a YouTube video. When we did it on YouTube, it didn't really get the love it should have got, but there you go. But I shouldn't be complaining because it's not even my car, even. It's not even my car, even though people thought it was. But yeah, so that was that. And then there was another video I did that was a van. Was it a van? I can't remember. It was a. I can't remember. That was only a quick video as well because I did like a. Oh no! So I've done another. I've done a VW van uh, video, but it's not gone out yet. But seriously, it's like I'll do a video and it's like it doesn't go out, and then I'll do a video. It's like you know. Um, but the shorts are doing better, which is a worry. Um, the shorts are doing better, not the long form. So I'm still doing the long form because that's what I started doing in the first place. It was never really a shorts channel. Um, but there's going to be a compilation coming soon. Yeah, it's just a case of getting everything done, everything finished, and then doing a compilation, which will be a big compilation with a lot of good stuff in it. And yeah, I've also got another Beans World Archive video coming as well because people love them. Pardon me. And I can do all the Beans World Archive episodes done. I like the new series on the channel. It's just all the original videos. I decided to put them in a playlist. All the old stuff that was getting all of the hype and attention and all the rest of it. Because there's some really good stuff. Do you know, when we started the channel, originally, this channel, when we started it, it was a very experimental channel. And now it's become a really good, it knows what it wants to do now. Which is great because we got all the content that we know what we want to do with. And yeah, So yeah, I mean January to March it looked pretty good. Unlike last year. Yeah, last year had a very bad start. You got to remember we didn't have a a proper desk or anything. We didn't have an actual setup like we got for this year. We weren't even doing much. So last year was just, it was just like what plan now and what idea now. Um, but yeah, um, but literally everything I've done so far on this channel has happened, and it's like wow, 3 months in, uh, and there's been videos every 2-3 weeks. So yeah, um, and there's some lost media stuff coming as well. There's some other bits of content. There's the Sega Law video which is to come. There's just loads of stuff. So I'm thinking this year so far has been a great year so far for this channel. um, you know, because it just has. Interesting year so far then. Yeah, interesting year so far. Yeah. Who knows? The strange thing is, like, I get like an idea to do a video, and it's like, oh, suddenly, oh well, I won't get an idea, but then I'll look at an idea and I'll just go, oh yeah. And I've been using the AI on YouTube to sort of like say, right, what's this, and it'll look at my channel and go, oh, do you know what? And then I'll take a note of that, and I'll go, oh yeah, do you know, I'll use that, and then maybe I'll just carry on doing that. Um, I mean, we started these podcasts last year because there was just nothing happening on the channel. We needed to bring it back, to wheel it back, because I wanted to do radio. I wanted to go back into doing radio because I absolutely loved radio. I absolutely loved it, and then it stopped, and then I had arguments with everyone, and then I went into pirate radio, and now I'm just doing YouTube. So it's, the story of your life. Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's not necessarily a story of my life because, but it is a story. I think I liked that episode you did, Beansword episode we did about music. Yeah, because we're talking about music. But it's like, oh, I'll review. Here's another thing. I'll be like, oh, let's review this. And I'm like, God, wow. Because I'll just go and review it. And which I'm doing. I'm reviewing quite a few things. And like stuff I never thought I'd ever review. Like the backpack review, that was pretty good. Yeah, I bought a backpack and I thought, I'm going to review this. And it's a great little backpack, actually. Yeah, because I needed a new backpack at the time. But yeah. So you'll be going up to your cousins. Doubt there'll be more videos, or well, we're talking when I'm going up in April. There's talk of me doing a few Beanswell videos. Me and my cousin Dan were doing. Hopefully, we're doing 2 Beansworld car walk around videos. but we're also doing a bit of a car build. Well, it's not a real car build. It's a Lego car build. So we're doing that, and then there's another thing that we're doing as well. But we're only doing about 3 or 4 videos while we're there. Because that'll happen as well. There'll be about 4 or 5 videos or 6 videos made. Because every time I see him, it's like, oh, let's do a video. And next minute, there's about 7 videos we've done. Because he set up a channel. He set up a channel with nothing on it. It's like, oh, I need this, that, and the other. It's like, Dan, you should look at my channel. You know, I've just done hundreds of videos and I've not even got this camera or that camera or the other camera. And a lot of these YouTubers, I told them, I said, listen, you look at people, these big YouTubers that buy fancy cameras and lights, and yet they haven't even tried building content first. They haven't even tested the water. You know, if they just film with an iPhone and upload, you know, and all the rest of it. But you've helped him out with, because when Fear Factory came around, and yeah, every time Fear Factory comes around, I put it out there. I know a lot of our subscribers go, as a lot of the audience people, they go. And he had to do like a Beans World thing, not last year, the year before. Because I basically I gave him the idea of I basically gave him an idea which he's going to do for next year, which is the Devil in a Tomb, yeah, with the deck of cards. And I said, why can't you just be like the Possessed deck of cards? His friend's going to be doing that. I think one of his friends, we gave the idea, you know, oh, will you just be a Possessed deck of cards? And then like someone does like higher or lower, where, you know, you sort of play that game. You sort of play a sort of, because you can real play with that, you know. You know, if they get the wrong card, that's it. You sort of come out and chase them. It's all, there's a lot of, you can real play around, you know, psychological with people, you know. Here we go. You go, oh well, you're the jack of, oh well, you know. Or the coin, the possessed coin. But anyway, we were talking on those things, and we thought, oh yeah, maybe that would be a great idea, or maybe that would be a great idea. But it's not always going to be a great idea, is it? It's just going to be like, oh, you know, you geek out on an idea, and it's like, oh well, it could be an idea, or it's just, but yeah. But I really want to go to Sefton Park. Apparently it's possessed. It's possessed. But I'm going to tell you now, that hotel that we went to, oh crumbs, what was it? The is it the Embassy Hotel in Liverpool? Not the Embassy Hotel. That's another place. The place that used to be... Anyway, there's a room in that hotel that's haunted. But it's not... There's no demon in there. People... Basically, there was a girl that died. She got crushed by a wardrobe. Now, the spirit is friendly. And you saw it, didn't you, Theo? Yes. And I was guarded by the girl when my mate went out for a bit to do something. Um, yeah. So we stayed in that room, and there's a screw in the wall where the wardrobe was. But it was a very sad, and people disrespect that. They think that there's gonna be something that's gonna the Adelphi. Yeah, and people think, oh well, someone's gonna jump out, a spirit's gonna jump out and possess them. Not really. And demons, people don't read upon their stuff, you know. Like the demonic house that's boarded up. Yeah, the demonic house. Now that is demonic. It's near Blackpool, and not even urban explorers will go in it. I've seen, what's his Beard Reality is the only one that's been in it, and he's like, oh, this isn't haunted, nothing, And then the next thing they all get out, and it's like, that wasn't edited. It's like, what just came? But I want to go in there's an asylum in Liverpool that's very sad. It's got lots of stories behind it. And one of the lads that worked in McGull Radio, he said, oh, I used to work in there. Like before I worked in Ashworth. He said, I used to work in there. And he said what they used to do was, they used to to stop the patients from jumping over and killing themselves. They used to put things on top of the banister, and they used to tie people up in the loft. Oh my gosh, there was a loft what they had for people that had. Hey, if you think I'm making this up, you can actually read up about this. It's the asylum in Liverpool. And it used to be a children's home as well. And the children were very badly abused. Apparently, one, I've been told, got boiled. And I don't just mean a little bit boiled. I mean absolute, we're talking like napalm. Anyway, getting back to the mental hospital. It's the same building, but what they did with these patients is to because seclusion wasn't enough for them back in them days. Oh no! What they did was, what they did with the psychotic ones, they put them in the attic and locked them up in there. Isn't there a place where they tied autistic people to radiators? That's in Wales. Yeah. And they didn't just chain them to radiators. Because what they used to do to autistic patients is they'd put them in a room and basically play really loud noise. Oh yeah. Yeah. Like really loud noise. Which was the one where they did the light bulb therapy? What's that? The light bulb therapy? Where they put like hot light bulbs to the heads. That's no, that's not light bulb therapy. That's electric shock, where they put like a hot like bulb in. No, they drill a hole in the skull, and then they put a wire in, and then they just wiggle it around, and then they take it out. You know, there might have been light bulb therapy. I mean, they used to do all kinds of stuff to people. Mm. All kinds. But yeah, have you seen that Massachusetts documentary? Or I've seen bits of it. Mm. It's, but to be honest, I've seen a lot of documentaries about mental health institutions, right? And I think Tekka's Follies um, shows it's like it's not all staged, but it's like welcome to the stage show, folks. Yeah, you know, and as the curtains close, yeah, um, nothing's happened. You know, I mean, it's like if they were to take the Winterbourne View documentary, take all the awful violent bits out, and just leave you with cold-hearted frustration, you'd get Taker's Follies. And it's strange because it's like these people were like no one, like everybody was seen through these people. You know, when you when you look at the mental health industry as a whole, it's what the documentary shows is um, how cold the mental health industry is. It's like you go in there and you're not made to be better. As soon as you walk through the doors in that system, they put drugs in you to make you so they can literally try and fix the problem. If they can't fix you, they'll find other ways, other methods. You're just an experiment. Um, you know, that's why abuse is not seen as abuse on their side of the doors, because it's like, no, this isn't, we need to fix them. You know, this is broken, so we need to fix it. Well, look at all of the people they've damaged going through those doors. You know, You said you didn't see autistic people, and in the 90s, we only saw what we were shown. Um, I was sort of wrapped up in cotton wool, but at that time, it was we weren't taught about these people. And then when we were, how shocking that was. I mean, when I entered Play Scheme, I'm talking the early 2000s, and I met people that were I never thought would be like myself. And then when I found out what I about my Asperger's and stuff like that, when I met people in Play Scheme, I thought, yeah, they are like me. Mm. But the problem was, the people like me didn't communicate like me. And so the people that did communicate, um, were the ones that we got on with and had laughs and jokes and stuff like that. But and I was the one with the tongue in my head to say, yeah, I want this and want that, but it's that's not the way the system works. Mm. But we won't get into that. But it was, and when I left school and started Henshaws, and I was still learning. Mm. But yeah, that's another story for another day. You haven't done your rant on Henshaws yet, have you? Not, not for YouTube, no. Not yet. I haven't got my white plastic tray. Sorry. I forgot. But you know, like Henshaws they never taught us any confidence. Yeah, they never did. I had to learn all that when I came home. Mm. You know, confidence, man. And once you learn it, bloody hell, it's like, you know, it's like I remember the first day that I went to town on my own, and uh, and I was learning the town centre and figuring it out. Excuse me. I remember I was thinking, today I'm going to go to the amusement arcade on my own. And I was thinking, because I was thought, wow, I've always wanted a day out. And I thought, today I'm going to go to the amusement arcade because there's no one saying, oh no, you can't look at this, oh no, you can't look at that. So I went to the amusement arcade and I had a ball. I walked round, I pressed all the fruit machine buttons, and then I thought, and I walked along the pier, and I used to, on a Sunday afternoon, I would go to the Mount for my lunch, and then I would come home, and then I would go to town. I'd go along the pier right to the end, and I would mess about in the arcade at the end of the pier, and then I would come home. And that was my day. That was my day. And then I thought, do you know, when it's nice, I'm going to walk along the pier. And I did it, not every time, but most of the times. That's when we had a pier, by the way. There are loads of videos that I've missed. Mm. Uh, yeah. And then um, yeah, and then so I'd have my confidence. Oh crumbs, it's time for beer.